Yeah, hello everyone. Good evening. This is Bhoomika B. Kadabi from Jain College of Engineering. So, to introduce myself, I am an ENC graduate from Jain College of Engineering, Belagavi. And when it comes to my schooling, I've completed my schooling from KLS School and PUC from RLS Pu College. Uh, Presently, I've been placed at three companies and will be soon joining in this month. And I've been participating in various debate competitions and mock parliaments, and I've been conducting tutorials from the past 4 to 5 years. So I thought this particular topic, especially placement oriented soft skills development, is going to help all of them in benefiting themselves to join the company that they are aiming at. So, yeah, we'll start with the presentation. What I'll be covering in this presentation will be the different kinds of companies, the process to get into those companies, and the packages that you guys will be getting in case you do some pretty good courses, and what is the eligibility criteria and how you need to prepare yourself in order to get placed in the company that you are aiming at. All right. Yeah. So this particular thing is what I want you guys to be prepared with. Basically, I want you should be clear about what your strengths and weaknesses are before you face any interview. It's really very important that you know about your about the placements that will be approaching you, along with what is your goal or what is your future plan as to whether you're planning to get into a job or an entrepreneurship or higher studies. Okay, and along with that, how confident are you to face these drives? Because I think the students who have joined are all from almost fourth and sixth semesters, current ongoing semesters, and the openings have already begun for 2024 batch. Okay, and you need to be really very well prepared, and soon the companies will be approaching you in the month of August or September. So, what's the best way that you can prepare is what I'll be helping you out in all the possible ways. So now, since when we speak about placements, I think it's all related to engineering, right? So, what after engineering is the biggest question that people face? And since I've come across a lot many juniors and students of mine usually join engineering because there is no other go. But then once you join engineering, it's really very important that you be clear with your goals as to what after 4 years of engineering. So, as per the flowchart that you see on the screen, you can see there are two basic probabilities that you either join a job or a master's, that is nothing but a higher studies. Okay. In job, I would probably divide the companies into two main sectors. The first one is the service oriented, and the second one is the product oriented. And when it comes to masters, it's going to be MBA, MTech, and MS. So what we'll do is we'll leave out the right side of the flowchart because we are here to focus only on the placements and the job oriented skills. So we'll be looking after what are the different types of companies that will be approaching your approaching you, and how you need to prepare for that, and what are the skills are needed. So to begin with, I would classify the companies into four main types. The first one is going to be IT or the software companies, which you all are well aware of. And the second one is the BPOs. The third one are the core companies, and the fourth is nothing but sales and marketing. So we'll go in depth of all of these in the upcoming slides. So IT software, basically what students do is they must understand that both stand in the same lane, but IT is something. There's a bit difference between IT and software companies, which I'll be letting you guys know in the upcoming slides. Okay, IT company. When I say IT, it stands for information technology. Information technology, when I say, it's going to completely deal with the sharing of the informations, storing, sending, or maybe retrieving using some different kinds of tools based on the companies. So there are multiple companies available which work out on all of these, and they utilize these informations tools. Probably it is all going to deal with the networking sides. So IT company is all going to deal with information. But when it comes to software company, there's a slight difference. Yeah, I'll be showing it to you in the next slide. Yeah, software company. When I say a software company, it's only going to deal with the usage or the utilizations of the modern technology, maybe the product developments, like as we know, the digital marketing or the whole digital era that's happening today is all related to the software, the websites that we approach, the different kinds of softwares that we use, the applications that we use are all built using some software. So, what's the key main factor in developing a software is nothing but as a fresher, you need to know the coding languages. So, the very basic coding language as of now is going to be C programming, but the more you know, it's better for you guys to face an interview or a company placement. So, what are the functions of a software company? For a software company, what they function in is nothing but they identify what's the necessity of the market or what their client is interested in. They would develop a software for themselves. They work in testing and the quality controls, and usually the maintenance of the complete website as such. So the website management along with the software that is being developed is done by the software companies. And to your knowledge, I would like to let you know guys that there are n number of companies available itself in our Bangalore, where many companies hire, and the probability of hiring is pretty more in software companies or IT companies when compared to the core companies. Okay, I'll tell you why and how exactly it works. So this is all about IT and software companies. So there's a slight difference between an IT and software which you need to know before you step into any of the interview process. Now, I think you'll have heard of all of these companies, the Tata Consultancy Services. This is the list of the companies which are the largest Indian IT companies in India based on the revenue that they have generated in the previous year itself. So the first one stands to be Tata Consultancy Services, nothing but TCS, as all of you know, and it's a mass recruiter as well. Then comes your Infosys, HCL, Wipro, Tech Mahindra, LTI, Mentor. These are not the only companies. There are a lot many companies, and when you step into this process, you'll get to know the reality of how exactly the industry and the market works. Because until then, you only know a few companies which are good at like hiring and all, whichever approach you. But then until and unless you actually get into the see, you then understand there are so many companies, so many sectors they work on, the requirements of the companies as well. So these software companies basically have different domains of work what they do. They usually work sometimes on health sector, the medical fields, maybe agriculture, maybe education, and all different kinds of sector, even finance, banking. They are also the software companies. So when a software company approaches you and tells you that it's working on a particular domain like education, don't misinterpret saying that it's a education based or a teaching based job. It's a software company, but they'll be serving for the needs of the education domain itself. Okay, so that's the main thing you need to remember, and I'll tell you how to prepare for such companies as well in the upcoming slides. Now, where are these IT hubs in India? So, yeah, the largest one is, of course, Bengaluru. Then comes your Hyderabad, Chennai, Pune, Kolkata, Kochi, Delhi as well. So, most of them are located in Bangalore and Hyderabad. They have their branches everywhere indeed. But the headquarters, as such, of most of the IT and software companies will be abroad. Now, what are the requirements if you are willing to join an IT or a software company? What do you need is nothing but what they ask for is a BE or BTech, usually in CS, IT, IS, or ECE. Usually, sometimes BCA, MC graduates as well, and BSc also are preferred sometimes in case they have a CS specialization. So, the main most opportunities are given mainly for CS students in IT and software sectors, CS or IT students. Okay. Now, how is the selection process for freshers? So, this is the flow that most of the companies follow. Need not only be restricted to this, there might be addition or deletion of rounds based on the number of candidates and the requirement of the company. So, the very first test that they undertake is an aptitude test, which is nothing but the mass elimination round, you can say. Here, most of the candidates are rejected or deleted from the group of people who have applied. So they can't sit asking everyone, they can't sit taking interviews for every individual every time. So what they do is keep a test, evaluate them on the basis of their scores, and only take the eligible candidates. Then comes your group discussion, which is nothing but to check your communication as well. Then comes the coding round. Coding round is specifically for software and IT companies, because they want to check how good you are at thinking and how can you solve a given problem, the logic that you can apply before solving any coding question. Then comes your technical interview, wherein you will have a face-to-face interview usually. And during the COVID-19 times, it was everything that was happening online. But you don't have to expect it online now. Everything will happen usually in offline modes. And the last and the final round will be an HR interview, where it will be a common discussion between you and the employer. So this is the basic selection process for any IT or software companies, and most of them will have almost all of these round, but there might be some addition of a managerial round in the group or set of rounds if there are more number of candidates. So if they want to eliminate few more, they'll undergo another round and see to it that they take only the one that much is required. Yeah, the second kind of a company is a BPO, business process outsourcing. So this is a method, or it's something related to business usually, that happens with third party vendors. So what happens here is, there are some entities like, soft drinks manufacturers that are already there. BPO is mainly applied for the outsourcing of such products. So it all depends on, you can't classify them as marketing or sales companies, but BPO is a different kind of company which mainly depends on the outsourcing of the products of third party. So it depends on the third party vendors. And this need not actually have engineering graduates itself. So any bachelor degree holder can apply for such companies. They can clear the rounds in case they have their communication really very good, and then they can get selected in any of the BPO. So there is no particular technical round or coding round that happens in a BPO. So it all depends on your communication that you're good at. So this is located. These companies are usually located throughout India, and any graduate can join an BPO, as I said. So the main key factor here is communication. So how well you are good at communicating with each other, that helps you be a very good person for a BPO. Okay, this was all about BPO. The process as such for BPOs would be again an aptitude test usually. Then you'll have a GD. This is a compulsory round that happens in a BPO because they want to check your communication and eliminate students in mass numbers. And hiring also will be good in number compared to IT softwares as well. They will hire a good number of students. You'll have a communication round. Usually, communication round happens in such a way that they'll give you some sentences, some questions, or some pronunciation words, and how well you communicate or how well you pronounce them is what is being checked in communication round. And last is an HR interview, where it will be a normal discussion on the packages offered, the other benefits, pros and cons of the companies. That's all about BPO. Well, coming to core companies, I think most of the students here are aiming at core companies, and few are not even aware of it. And I think this is going to be a better platform for them to understand what a core company is. So basically, core companies are the one that are specialized in a particular sector. Okay, and mainly in the sectors of engineering, like your mechanical, electrical, civil, or even electronics at times. So you have good number of core companies available in India, of course, but the selection process, the criteria are pretty difficult when compared to the IT or software companies. So you can easily make it to a software company, but not that easily into a core company. Now, core companies, there might be some boons and banes, of course, but once you get into it, you're pretty sure to have a better future because, yeah, as I said in the very beginning, most of them have joined engineering because they had no choice. Okay, but then when you join, it's really very good if you're working in the sector that you've already studied. Like, if I'm an ENC graduate, it will be better for me if I work in the same domain, may it be my ENC, any of the domain, but I've already learned that, right? So it will help me grow better in the same domain rather than shifting to other domains like IT, software, or at times BPO or sales, right? So something that I already know, I can prove myself better in the same way. Correct. So core companies are the ones purely open for mainly mechanical, electrical, civil, and electronic sectors. Uh, there are multiple companies which hire in India, and usually the headquarters will be in India. And most of the core companies are startups. Most of them, indeed. And yeah, the my pretty good suggestion is that it's better to work in a startup, because you will learn a lot many things. You'll get to know how things work. You need to cook your food rather than stirring the food in big MNCs. So startups will pretty good help you in learning new things. You get an opportunity to explore new opportunities. You'll understand how it is to begin from scratch and to grow to a level. So startups will surely benefit you in this way. Yeah, here I have mentioned some 5 to 6 top core companies in each domain. Basically, in mechanical engineering, you can find the Tata Group, you can find the HPCL, the Kirloskar, Ashok Leyland, BHEL, L&Ts. L&T is usually present in all of the sectors, not restricted only to mechanical. In electrical, you have BHEL, the Havels India, the NTPC, ABG, Philips, and Bajaj Electricals. When it comes to civil engineering, it is all about CCCL company. If you have heard of any of these, I think you are well preparing for the companies. HCC, BGR, Tata, then Ashoka Buildcoin, of course L&T again. In electronics, you have BEL, Samsung, Intel, Apple, Synopsys, Siemens, and Qualcomm. Since most of us, I mean, everyone is aware that the era today is based on electronics, correct? And since most of the gadgets that we use today are electronic gadgets, so there is more demand for electronics engineers in the market, and yeah, you'll get a pretty attractive salary packages as well in case you're good at the same domain. So industries like which work mainly on VLSI domain or embedded systems offer you a really good package. But yeah, you need to be well prepared in order to get into such companies. Yeah, when it comes to a core company, the intake is really very less compared to other companies because their requirement is less and the hiring happens once a year. Okay. And you need not expect just an aptitude test in the first round, because what they do is they'll give you a technical test as well along with that. So you need to write aptitude plus technical test, and based on that the mass elimination happens. And most of the companies even have the first round of resume shortlisting. So once you apply to a company, the resumes are being screened and the best ones are being selected and moved on to the first round of the test, nothing but the aptitude and technical test. The next one is a technical interview. Usually, this happens in 2 to 3 rounds because since you're working in the core sector, it's really important that you're technically strong. So, they try to check out in all possible ways how very good you are at technical, maybe your own domain, electronic, mechanical, civil, or electrical. The last one will be an HR in all the possible companies, because that's where the rules of the companies, the package offers, the bonds if present, all will be explained to you. So making it to a core company is the dream of many people, but usually they tend to fail because they are not that prepared to face an interview in the very beginning. Like if you are in 6 semesters now, you're still not that prepared and to face such an core company interview, because it will be really very difficult. So if you are aiming at it, I think for fourth semester students it's really very good because you can start preparing right now, and then you can aim at a core company. And usually most of the core companies do not demand for freshers, they look out for experienced candidates. And getting into a core company as a fresher is a pretty difficult task, of course, but if you're well prepared, if you're challenging, you can easily make it to it. Now the very big question that arises is, should I consider an IT is better or core company is better? I have a few comparisons for you guys. Well, so when it comes to an IT company, it's usually open for the branches CS and IT. And in core companies, it's open based on the domain of the company, of course. It is EC, MEC, Civil, or Triple E. The clients of an IT company will surely be in abroad, and core company will be in India. And the average salary as a fresher, all that I've mentioned is here as a fresher. You might expect an IT company is about 3 to 4 lakh when it comes to a core company based on the branches. You can expect even more, even less, depends on the candidate, depends on the requirement, and it depends on the job role and the demand of the product or the service in the market. So the future scope in IT company, abroad visits, because since their branches are available abroad, you get a chance to visit. But in core, usually they offer you higher studies. The hikes in an IT company are usually good. Yeah, pretty good indeed. But when it comes to the core company, you will have the jump of almost twice, thrice the package that you have as a fresher. When it comes to sales and marketing company now, do not mistake sales and marketing as the same. Sales is all related to the number of products that you sell in the market, and the target, these are all target based jobs, and marketing is all about advertising the product. So say for example, a company is manufacturing any soft drink or any eatable kind of a thing. There will be a sales manager who will look into the number of products being sold, but there will be a marketing manager who will look into how better it is being advertised in the market. This is the major difference between the sales and the marketing company. And the main motto of hiring the candidates here is based on the communication. So, how well you are at communicating with people, how well you are at convincing people is what matters here. And preferably, usually they hire MBA or BBA candidates because their main domain is marketing and sales in MBA and BBA. But yeah, it is kept open for even BE BTech graduates and all other graduates. In case they want to hire, they'll even have different kinds of rounds so that they can hire candidates for the same domain. Here, the selection process happens in same way like it happens for a BPO. Yeah, first one is going to be an aptitude test. I'll explain what the aptitude test in the upcoming slides in detail. Next would be a GD. Then next is the communication round wherein they'll check your marketing skills. So here you can expect them to give you a pen or any of the product and ask you to sell it to any new person. So how well you convince him, and in case if you want to raise the price of the product even if it is less, how do you exactly convince the opposite person is what matters. So this is all what is being checked in the communication round. The last one is of course the HR interview, and wherein how the offers and the bonds and the incentive, this is all based on the incentives because they'll give you a fixed package, and the above all, after based on the targets and the number of products you sell, based on that you'll be getting incentives. Yeah, in order to prepare for all of these you need to be well prepared, and for that I have a formula called SWOT analysis. I think most of you know what SWOT analysis is. Well, S stands for strength, which means how good you are at something and how well you can face any challenges, and what are you good at is what matters. Next one is the opportunities, because usually opportunities knock your door only once, and how well you make use of that opportunity is something that matters. Then your weakness, yeah, how you should understand in what part you are weak. So most of the students at times are weak at communication. Trust me or not, communication is going to play a very vital role when it comes to placements, because you know everything, you're really very challenging, you know 100% of the syllabus that is required, but then if you're not able to express yourself through words, how will the opposite person know? So you need to be really very good at communicating and explaining yourself, and how well you express in front of the interviewer is something that will help you get a job. Last one is the threats. Threats are nothing but the risks that come, or the problems that you will face in this journey, because or anytime when you are undertaking something, and what is the problem or the threat that is actually threatening you from undertaking that. So you need to identify all of these main key factors and then get into facing an interview. Yeah, now comes what are your preparations needed in order to face an interview. Well, the first one is the resume. So before you face any interview, you need to have your resume prepared. Okay, now what is the resume, how you need to do that, all will be explained here. Well, when I say a resume, this is something, a paper that explains what you are, your whole as a person will be explained in a resume. So it's nothing but a first meeting between you and employer. Whenever you apply for a job, the person looks at your resume, and based on that, he'll decide whether to give you a chance or not. So how best you create your resume, you have more chances to get a job. So this actually gets you an interview. So very good at very, if your resume is really very that good of having all different skills, if you it has really good experiences mentioned, trust me, you will be the first one to get an opportunity or an interview call. As quote goes, the first impressions are always the lasting ones. Resume is the one that can create a better impression. This is the way you can convince an employer that yeah, you should get a chance. So your resume should really be very good. Now, what are you supposed to do in a resume and what you are not supposed to do in a resume? First thing, before you apply for any job, go through the job description, and based on that, you need to change your resume at times. Like maybe need to, yeah, you need to have your resume designed mainly for your job. That is, if you are looking for a sales, uh, your resume should have mentioned in that you are good at sales. If you are looking for an IT job, you need to change your resume in such a way that you're good at coding. So based on the description and the necessities of the company, you need to change your resume. What are you not supposed to do in a resume is nothing but the don'ts of the resume. Like you need to basically know that you're not supposed to use the pronouns like I, me, my, or are, because you're speaking in general and you need not mention it in your resume in such a way. And when it comes to other key points of not mentioning in a resume is you're not supposed to use abbreviations and acronyms. Okay, try to use the full forms in your resume and try to keep it. Yeah, the don'ts of the resume are you need not maintain any fancy font, because the more simple you keep, it's better for a employer to judge you. You always have to carry a very neat resume when you. Okay. Sorry for the interruption. Let's move on again. Yeah, the don'ts of the resume is what we were discussing. Yeah, so when you're moving into an interview room, see to it that you don't carry a folded resume. Keep it as neat as possible, keep it as simple as possible, and please try to avoid the detailed family or health information. You need not mention the complete family details, just your date of birth and your other information. Yeah, you need not keep your detailed family information in the resume because they are really not interested in that. They are only interested in what technical skills you have and how well you are equipped with the skills. That is what actually matters. Okay, and please keep it as simple as possible and maintain decency in your resume. That is what helps you bring a better job offer. Now, what all should a resume include? So, basically, you will have the header which tells you the name, address, mail ID, and phone number of an individual. Basically, it's the you who will be applying for the job. Then you will have the objective, maybe the company's perspective or your career objective. The very secret key point that I want you guys to know is what happens usually is the college sends you a template of the resume and you to tend to edit the same. Okay, but what actually happens is you forget to edit the career objective part. So when you apply in mass for a company, when actually if they are screening a resume, the first person who will apply, his objective will be considered, but then the rest will be identified as they have copied from the same person. So please see to it that you keep your objective something different. Do not copy from a friend, and yeah, when you write it, you actually should mean it. Okay, so please take care of your career objective. Then comes your education details. Keep it in the latest first order, which means your BE BTech graduation should be, the first one, and then your PUC or diploma, and then your SSLC graduations. Keep your honors and activities mentioned because this is the one that shows that you are a leader. And please do not hide any of the achievements that you have done because that will help show that you are into extracurricular activities as well. Mention your work experiences if you have any, and my well good advice is that please try to have as many as internships as possible because that will help you identify what exactly the work is in the industry. So it's better to have internships in all different domains so that you understand the work nature and you understand what actually the company is needing and how is the workflow there it happens, and then you will simultaneously understand your interest in the domain as well. So see to it that you get as many as internships as possible. Mention all the relevant courses that is actually needed for the company. Please edit it before you submit it to any of the job offers, but mention the truth once, because once you get into an interview room and you have mentioned everything but you don't know anything, you will surely be into trouble. When they have asked you for a skills section, see to it that you mention the technical skills. Usually, students tend to misinterpret saying that the skills are all about leadership skills, communication skills. Of course, yes, they do matter, but something that actually even matters is your technical skills, like your C programming, Java, C++, Python, embedded systems, VLSI, web development. All of that needs to be mentioned in a resume. Mention all your academic projects and please try to have the short description as to what tools you used, what was the main outcome of the project, and how you faced it, and your role in the project. This will help understand a interviewer or the employer that you have played a key and important role in developing a project. This is a sample resume that I thought I can show you because this is how usually a one page resume looks like, which includes all the different informations needed. And this is actually used everywhere now. So you can use such similar templates. Any template is fine, but it should be convincing one. Yeah, now comes your aptitude and verbal test. This is usually the first level of mass eliminations that happen in the company. These are usually some common sense questions and usually mathematics questions of 10 plus 2 level. They include usually these profit loss, simple interest, age related sums, graphs, find the missing number, pattern series. comprehensions, your verbal abilities, all of these is well concerned with this test. So if you're really very good at technical skills but you're unable to clear an aptitude, trust me, you can't make it to a company because this is the very first level. So, how well you are prepared in technical, equally you need to be prepared for the aptitude as well. So, if you have not started your preparation yet, I think this is the right time for you guys to begin your preparation with aptitude, because most of the companies, why say most? It's almost all companies demand for an aptitude test. One of the books that I usually referred was R.S. Agarwal, that is Quantitative and Verbal Reasoning, and it's pretty explanatory, and you can understand if you go through the book. And since if you all are from science background, I think mathematics is pretty easier for all of you. You can easily solve the questions given in the book. Then comes your GD, that is your group discussion. What exactly is GD? GD is nothing but wherein 8 to 10 people are being seated in a room. They give you a general topic, a very general topic. You try to explain your views, your thoughts on that particular topic. What they see is how well you can think, how broad you can think, how good you are at listening, how you express your views, your body language, the confidence. This helps them understand that you are a better candidate when it comes to communication, because no matter in which company you are joining, you need to be very good at communication. You need to interact with the clients, you need to interact with different people, you need to get orders. All of that happens only if you're good at communication. What are judged in a group discussion? As I said, how good you are at communication is the very first point. Then how you behave, how open minded, how what are your listening skills, how you put forward your views, how you take a decision. And one of the best advice I can give you when it comes to a GD is never interrupt a person who is speaking. That usually gives a negative impression about you. Let the person speak, but yeah, you need to create your own opportunity, because there you don't get chances based on first come first serve kind of basis. Anybody who takes an opportunity gets an opportunity, and how well he expresses, he's being counted in the list. So you need to create your opportunity, but in order to do that, don't be rash, don't be harsh in speaking. Express it in very fine way, friendly way. Listen to what other person is saying, and you can counterpart the same points. So it's not, it's more similar to the debate, but you need not have to fight there. Put up your views, and that is how they'll judge you in a group discussion. Yeah, of course. Then the very next round usually is the face-to-face interviews. Now, how do you face an interview? So before you apply to any of the jobs, as I said, first customize your resume. You need to be very confident. No matter you don't know the answer, be confident in even telling that, but just don't tell I don't know the answer. Try to frame it in some other way, saying, sorry, I don't know it for now, but surely given a chance, I'll look into the same and I'll upgrade my knowledge. This is how you can counterpart a particular question when you don't know the answer, rather saying I don't know. Yeah. And then before you get into an interview room, know what the company is, know the details of the company, know what they are working on, what are their domains, what they are expecting from the candidate. And be fully equipped here means, whatever you have mentioned in your resume, you should be knowing it well. If you mention Java, and you when you enter into an interview room and when they ask you a question on Java, and in case you don't know, that creates a really bad impression. So you need to be very good at whatever you have mentioned in your resume. Please see to it that you've mentioned the true facts. Then, yeah, dress up sharp. Usually, interviewers expect you to be in formals, decently dressed, and decently behaving as well. So, your body languages in the interview room also matters. So, try to be really very confident. And in case you feel the one of the threats in order to face an interview is communication, if you are really scared of facing someone, using the language English, you can start preparing from now. But how is the question, right? What you can do is just stand in front of the mirror, start speaking, judge yourself where you go wrong. In case you have a very good friend, try to interact with them in English, no matter, because in the beginning you might face some difficulties, but later on when you go ahead, surely it will help you. If you are scaring to face someone in this language, I think you need to start it right from now, because later in interviews, you know everything and you are failing to express it, makes no sense, right? So you need to be really very good at expressing yourself, and communication here plays a very important role. The trending technologies in the market for today are these the all of these, and most of the companies are expecting you to be well equipped and well versed with these technologies. Yeah, it's the ML, machine learning, IoT. Then you have AI, artificial intelligence, ethical hacking. You have data science. You have network security, all of networkings. What you can do is, since the syllabus of today's generation is not that updated, you can undergo different kinds of courses in order to learn such technologies. You have so many different platforms through which you can learn all of these, and one of such is Bolt IoT itself. They offer you courses on AI and ML. You have some projects also that can be done using the kit that is being provided by them. And yeah, presently there is some offer that's been going on for college students. You can surely make the best use of it, and see to it that you cover most of the training technologies. You know most of them, because the world is really very competitive, and until and unless you are updated to the present day knowledge and the present day digital technologies, you won't be able to survive in the industries. Okay, so see to it that you are well prepared before you get into any of the job interviews. Yeah, as I said, the very best platform is Bolt IoT itself. And even I had undertaken the AIML course from the Bolt IoT, wherein they have the hardware kit which you can order. And through that you have the training sessions being conducted by well experienced and professionals itself, so that you understand the concepts easily. And these same projects will be, you can mention it in your resume as well, which will help you add value in the industries. And it is a certified course. You will get the certification soon after you complete your all the projects and the assignments. You have lifetime access for it as well, so you can register now and watch it whenever you're free. And yeah, this will help you even answer the questions easily, because you have done multiple projects. You can easily face any of the interviews because your knowledge will be upgraded. Yeah, so what is all that they work on is nothing but they have a hardware module, the Bolt IoT Wi-Fi module connected to the Bolt cloud, through which machine learning and AIML trainings happen. And from there you can do multiple projects online. It's an online course. You will have a training from well equipped professionals. So yeah, this is one of the best opportunities that you can make use of. This was one of the projects that I worked out on. It was an automatic on putting on and off of the LED. It was the very basic project that you can undertake. This is the first project that you will perform on Bolt IoT using the Wi-Fi module. I've provided the YouTube link. You can just go visit how it exactly works. So everything will be sent to you in the hardware kit. It usually has a buzz. It has a buzzer. It has a LED, different jumper wires, along with the breadboards. So you can make different connections. You can try out different projects, and if you visit their websites, you can see how different students have taken an advantage of this particular module, how they have built different projects, and how exactly, it's not restricted as to what they tell you need to do only that much. So it's all left up to how well you think. The broader you think, the different kinds of projects you'll come up with. And every year they keep up a offer for college students, wherein the training will be given free of cost, but you just have to pay for the hardware module, which will be delivered to your home. And yeah, now also it's open, wherein actually it's worth almost 9600, but you can only pay get the hardware kit at 2750. In order to avail that, you can use my referral code that is mentioned on the screen. Yeah, as I've mentioned here, their product has been featured by Raspberry Pi Foundation itself as the best maker hardware in the world. Especially for ENC engineers who are looking to get into core companies, especially embedded systems, I think this is going to be the best opportunity you can make use of. And see to it that you perform different kinds of projects using the same module at home itself. You need not have to spend much because you'll be trained free. You just have to get the hardware kit. Yeah, this is their website. So you have any of, if you want any more information, you can visit their website, boltiot.com, through which you can enroll yourself, order the product, and then you can make the best use of it. Yeah, so this was all from my end. Any questions? We are open for all the questions and answers, so anything you can drop your question. Yeah, if you have any of the questions, you can drop. Yeah, from Austin, we have a question. Which are important softwares to prepare for ECE campus placements? ECE campus placements. Okay. Uh, in case you are looking out for IT or software, you need to know at least C programming, because in a very basic, as when they are hiring a fresher, they don't usually look out for Java, C++, Bootstrap, HTML, all of that. They give you basic C programming codes. You can use any of the language. There is no language barrier. So you need to at least know C, the coding skills like C, C++, Python, Java. And when it comes to core, see to it that you're well equipped with all the different kinds of ENC subjects, especially your embedded systems, your networks, your control systems, and your VLSI. Usually, this is what usually hardware or core companies look out for. Okay. Yeah, I think the next one is group discussion or team discussion like debates? uh, it will not be like debate. It's all individual. It will be like when 8 to 10 people will be given an opportunity at the same time on the single topic, and they'll just check how better you make the use of the opportunity. So how well you express is what matters. This is not about speaking for the statement or against the statement. In debates it usually happens that way, right? It usually happens like you speak for, the other person will be against, and you guys start debating, you counterpart the points. But here it doesn't happen that way. It's just putting forth your views. Okay. Yeah, Rahul. I have doing my BSc now in electronics. Okay. Yeah, to get placed after, yeah, after BSc. So in case you are specialized in computer science, especially, and you have done your Bolt IoT course completely, you are good at embedded systems. Then, if you have completed your Bolt IoT, so you can start applying for companies. But see to it, in case electronics is your major subject, you can try for core companies through electronics. Otherwise, you can use the same AI ML related coding stuff, and you can get into companies wherein you can apply the same knowledge. But yeah, in order to, as a BSc graduate, I think you need to know a bit more, because openings for BSc is pretty less. But if you are specialized in electronics and you're good at embedded systems and VLSI, core companies will surely approach you. Is it the right way to start as an intern in core companies, and also what are the chances of landing a paid one? Okay. Paid internships for graduates as an intern are open. Yeah, there are many. But yeah, again, the process will be the same, because core companies usually do not hire much in number. They usually take you as an intern. And based on your performance, they'll assign you the roles later. So you'll be trained on all the domains available in the company. And yeah, it's the best way to start as an intern, because you'll understand how different domains that the company is working out for. And then later you can identify which is the domain that suits you, and you can request for the company to place you in that. And chances of landing a paid one, yeah, because most of the core companies do not offer you internship. Just they won't ask you to pay you, they'll pay you in case you are a really good candidate. What is the basic preparation to enter the core company? Yeah, basic preparation to enter the core company for ECE is your embedded systems and VLSI. Most of the companies work on embedded and VLSI. And after that, it's all about the coding also, because ENC students usually do not purely work on hardware. You need software associated. So Python is what most of the embedded systems being they use. So you need to know C and Python. For embedded, you need to know embedded C. And yeah, start with C. I think that is where you start, and then know a bit of embedded systems. Okay, thank you all for joining. Have a good day.